3.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Brew live on Brew Sports. It is a Wednesday edition of the program. It is Hump Day. We are halfway through the week. More importantly for McKenzie, she is almost done with finals, which is far more important. McKenzie, you survived your bioeconomic, whatever the heck you did yesterday. Bioethics. You built a rocket ship. I don't know. And there's bio anything. I'm like, it just sounds epic, basically. Yeah. But you survived yesterday.
I did.
That's good. And you celebrated by wearing a romper today, it looks like.
I did. I wore a romper.
It's adorable. I mean, you can see it pretty much for the most part. Mine is not come in the mail yet, so I couldn't match you.
Wait, did you order one?
No, I did not.
Oh,
they're $95.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Not about to order a romp him, unfortunately. I did have my soon-to-be, what was she going to be, stepmom, says like, oh, I could have my mom sew you one if you want. And she's like, I'll just sew a pair of shorts to a shirt. And call it a romper. I'm like, yeah, I guess that could potentially work. I mean, I know how to sew as well, too, so maybe I'll just make my own.
Yeah.
Maybe call it the Baxim or something, or the Romp Backs or something. Start my own brand, the old spin-off brand or something. But
I like it.
I think it could work. I think I would absolutely do that. But we've got a lot of good stuff to get to this morning. We're going to be joined in just a little bit by one of our NHL correspondents, Andrew Shapiro. He's going to help us break down everything taking place in the crazy NHL playoffs right now. The Predators getting a last-second victory from Roman Josi last night, so I'm sure the Predator fans are thrilled that they are now up 2-1 in the series. So he's going to be here to help us kind of break down everything to go in place in the conference finals. The NBA draft lottery was last night. All the conspiracy theories are flying around about how the Lakers conveniently got the second overall pick. Lonzo Ball. Like, there's all the conspiracy theories. People are freaking out. We'll get into that. We've got a lot of other things to get to, of course, today. We do have two wonderful questions of the day. The first one is courtesy of you, McKenzie, talking about what your favorite Oreo flavor is, apparently. That's very intriguing. What spawned this question?
So Oreo is allowing people to come up with their own flavors, and then you can submit the flavor to them. And if they like it, they will make it a thing, and I'm pretty sure pay you for it.
Wow, I would hope they would pay you for it.
That's what one of the articles said, yeah. So some people are coming up with like strawberry lemonade and like Twinkie Oreos. I don't know, it sounds like way too much to me, but I know people are a fan of Oreos, so maybe.
When in Rome, I guess. I mean, everybody remembers a couple of years ago, or even, I guess, what was it, a year or two ago, I guess, that Lay's did all those, like, weird flavored chips. It's like oh, baked potato. And then, like,
cheese.
Yeah, there was some. I never tried any of them, thankfully. Like, the most adventurous I get is, like, honey barbecue. I'm like, okay, I can get on board with that. But as soon as we start diving into the weird, like, tartar sauce and whatever else that they were trying to do, or, like, fried filet fish, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not gonna. There was some really weird. Or like it was like a wasabi one or something too.
Was it really?
I think so.
Gosh.
I was like, no, thank you. So
no, not for me.
That's one of our two questions of the day. Is what is your favorite Oreo flavor? The second one, off the back of news that broke yesterday, is Peyton Manning will be hosting the 25th ESPY Awards, and we're asking the question: will you watch the ESPYs now because that Peyton Manning is hosting? Peyton Manning, traditionally a very funny guy. The times we've seen him do some acting, I'll be curious to see if people tune in more to see Mr. Peyton Manning. I might do that now just because I enjoy Mr. Manning. So we'll have to see what the folks say, and we'll have to see what all comes from that as well too. We do say good morning to all of you wonderful people. Of course, we are broadcasting live on Facebook, also on YouTube and on Spreaker.com. So make sure you catch everything that we've got going on any of those wonderful, amazing platforms. So we do lead off the show as we do every day with our What's Brewing segment, where we give you some of the latest and greatest things happening in the sports world. McKenzie, I'll give you the floor right off the bat, as we usually do. What do you have brewing for us in the sports world today?
So last night, the Warriors absolutely destroyed the Spurs.
Wasn't even close.
Yeah. It started out a little shaky. Kind of looked like the Spurs were going to take the game. It was not even until minute 7 that Steph Curry even scored a point, and I believe they only scored 17 points in the first quarter altogether, but quickly turned around. The final score, 136-100. Just a complete blowout.
It is, and this is a lot of folks are also trying to say, like, well, obviously it's because Kawhi Leonard wasn't on the floor. Like,
yeah, a lot of people are saying that.
And then there was also this, like, weird omen that, like, Zaza Pachulia got hurt last night, like, with a similar play, and then Kevin Durant was being targeted as well, too, by LaMarcus Aldridge. Like, this series is just starting to turn nasty.
Yes.
And it's starting to get a little crazy, in all honesty, with the reason that people are getting so about it. So, I mean, this is a classic case of Golden State being the beast that you didn't want to awake. You thought you had like one chance to beat them, basically, and you failed. And now they're mad, and they're going to come back, and they're going to beat you into the ground, basically. I mean, you don't have a 4 out of 5 starter all-star team, basically, not go and put up 30-plus more points than the opponent consistently. I mean, that's just what Golden State does.
Exactly.
Does San Antonio have any possible way of winning even a game in the series?
I don't think so anymore.
Really?
No.
After these 2 games now,
I think they're going to continue to come
done.
out strong. Maybe not be up by so many points and stuff in the first quarter, but I think they're going to come out strong, and I don't think they're going to be able to hold out.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't have a feeling that San Antonio is going to be able to rally. In all honesty, I feel like they do have a good team. They've got a lot of core players, but when you lose Tony Parker before you get to this series, and then you lose Kawhi Leonard halfway through game 1, and then doesn't even play game 2, maybe he'll play for game 3. That's you're going to be too far in the hole at that point.
Yeah.
And I know Golden State blew a 3-1 finals lead last year, so I know that. But San Antonio doesn't have LeBron James. That's the bottom line in all of this.
Correct.
So I'm not worried that San Antonio is going to suddenly flip a switch and be like, all right, just kidding. We're actually a good team.
Right.
My bad, kind of a thing. So I think that Golden State, at this point now, has it all wrapped up. So
I would agree.
all right, for me, what's brewing this morning? Like we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the NBA draft lottery was last night. It has been officially set that the Boston Celtics will pick first overall. They did secure the number 1 ping pong ball after getting that in a trade with the Brooklyn Nets. Second overall will be the Los Angeles Lakers, which is where all the conspiracy theorists are now freaking out because where have we heard the last month and a half that LeVar Ball wants his son Lonzo to go play for him? Well, he wants him to go to L.A. because we're already in L.A. It would, logistically, I get that. It makes total sense.
Yep.
But why does it have to be the Lakers? Why can't it be the Clippers? No, it has to be the Lakers because if you want to have a storied franchise and you want to have this revolutionary player, of course you have to play for the Lakers. So people are calling conspiracy theory. People are saying, well, the NBA rigged it so that way. I'm like, really? You're going to think that a guy that nobody knew about 4 months ago suddenly swayed the entire NBA draft lotto?
And what if he's just a huge bust?
Exactly. I'm kind of partially hoping.
I completely hope he is.
Hoping for that. But you'd like to think at the same time, like, I don't think so many people would be. It's hard to know because if he actually comes out and actually plays and has the career that his dad hyped him up, then obviously you have to pat LeVar on the back, be like, okay, it obviously seemed very premature at the time, but you obviously were right. And, my bad kind of thing. But with all the hype coming in and all this craziness, you'd like to think that, okay, well, hopefully he's going to be a bust. That way we can all point a finger and say, all right, shut up, LeVar.
And then it's over with.
Go away, kind of a thing. I completely understand that. Luke on Facebook says the ball needs to get away from his father. He thinks the Celtics are going to take them. And I've been saying this. I'm like, I think that literally any team on the East Coast, I don't care if it's Brooklyn, Boston, anybody, should purposely take Lonzo so that way he can go to the other side of the country and maybe get a little bit of freedom. We can actually find out who the real Lonzo Ball is. Exactly. I think that would make the most sense. There's a lot of rumors that Boston might trade their first overall pick, though, to get like a Paul George or a Jimmy Butler as well, too, which I think would certainly help with the East being so LeBron-dominated. You have to stack up on some of those players. It's a possibility. Do you think Lonzo's going to go to the Lakers?
Gosh, I just want him to be a bust, so I don't really care where he goes.
There you go. What if he ended up in Milwaukee by some really weird, strange of events?
See, I like the culture that the Bucks are creating and the kind of players that they are looking for right now. So I don't think they would even.
You don't think they would mind?
I don't think they would think about bringing him in. With all the other nonsense around him, I don't know if that's a player that they would even want to bring in with the kind of brand they're trying to create.
I think that's just a Wisconsin thing overall, too. I think that's why the Packers don't bring in a lot of controversial yet talented free agents, or in general don't go out, and that's probably why they didn't reach for Joe Mixon as well, too. Even folks are like, he's a great running back. He would solve all the Packers running back problems, but he has all this off-field baggage following him, and I think Ted Thompson is like, that's just not who we are. Next, we'll figure it out by drafting like 12 running backs and hoping one of them is good. I think some franchises are just more notorious for that, like the Dallas Cowboys. They don't really care what you've done in your past. Come on into Dallas.
Get you a babysitter to follow you around.
Exactly.
So.
Big Jerry will make it all better for you, kind of thing. So that irks me a little bit, but ultimately Lonzo Ball will likely be a top 2, top 3 draft pick. Aside from that, I would be surprised. I mean, Phoenix, obviously, Minnesota, the Pelicans, all of these teams can use help. I don't really foresee anybody trading up to try to get to that second draft spot overall, just so they could go and take Lonzo Ball. I would be very surprised if they did do that. Doesn't seem he's not that type of player. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's that type of player that you need to move up. You're not going all like Chicago Bears with the Cleveland Browns or the San Francisco 49ers, like swapping and giving up the house just to get Lonzo Ball.
Right.
Seems a bit ridiculous to me. Anything else brewing for us this morning, McKenzie, before we jump over to Andrew Shapiro?
I think that's it. Get a little bit of hockey talk after the Predators win last night.
Well, absolutely. Well, as we mentioned, the Nashville Predators got a big victory last night, courtesy of Roman Josi. For those that have watched the show in the past, you know that Jamie was a massive Roman Josi fan, rightfully so. I mean, what's not to love? He's a good-looking guy that can certainly bring the power when it is most needed. And, of course, one of the gentlemen that can bring the power for us here is Andrew Shapiro, and he joins us this morning on the Morning Brew. A very good morning to you, Andrew. How are you today, sir? Oh, we're surviving. It's in the mid to high 70s today. It's a gorgeous day in Wisconsin, so it'll probably snow tomorrow. So we're looking forward to it. So Andrew, let's talk about this game last night. A 2-1 victory for the Nashville Predators. They now have a 2-1 lead in the series as well. What have you taken away from this game? This was a scoreless game for a vast majority of it last night. I was trying to follow it a little bit before I ended up having to run for the night. But what did you make of this game last night? Do we know any more about if one of these teams is going to be more of a favorite now? We've got 3 games under our belt. Has one team finally emerged as a favorite, or is it still kind of up in the air in your opinion?
Andrew, there were a couple of goals last night that ended up not being goals. Really close calls there. What did you think of those? The one where the net was kind of pushed out of the way and then the puck went in. Did you agree with the calls there, or did you think it should have gone the other way? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Anaheim, I mean, this has been a series that's been back and forth the entire time. I mean, it's great to see that, we are seeing such a back and forth series. I feel like sometimes you get to certain playoff series and there's just one team that just kind of runs away with it, and fans are just like, well, why did I get so excited? Why did I bother, basically? But thankfully, that hasn't been the case so far with both of these series. I mean, flipping over, you look at what Pittsburgh and Ottawa have been doing thus far. Andrew, how have you been able to view this series from the first couple of games as they've been happening? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting rest of the way, honestly. Jeff on Facebook says Pecorine is playing at an all-star level, and the Predators are getting better play from their defensemen. I completely agree with that. It's been incredible to see what this Nashville team has done through and through since the playoffs have begun, and they've been an exciting team to watch, to say the least. I'm very hopeful that this is the team that ends up representing their side of the conference when it comes to the Stanley Cup, but obviously we still have a little bit of ways to go. Andrew, before we let you run, where can people find you when it comes to the social media side of things? Perfect. Andrew Shapiro 10. Andrew, we appreciate it this morning here. We'll talk to you soon on the Morning Brew. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You as well, too. All right, there goes Andrew Shapiro this morning on the Morning Brew. Good to hear his insights and everything that he's had to offer this morning as well, too. Just reiterating, how Ottawa has just played such a very boring style of hockey. I mean, that's the funny thing. It's like you get to be one of the last four teams in any sort of playoffs. You'd like to expect that you're going to play a little bit more exciting. I mean, that's kind of how San Antonio plays basketball, too.
Yeah,
it's just
that's
very
what I was gonna
monotonous
say.
and just very nobody really cares. But they still find ways to win at the same time. And I think that's sometimes annoying for sports fans, being like, come on, give us something more
They
exciting.
break it down so simple that it ends up working, but it's not as fun to watch.
Yes, exactly. Exactly how I feel about that as well, too. All right, aside from the hockey world, aside from the basketball world, we've got other stuff mulling around as well, too. There's been some weird things going on that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
We're almost, what are we calling it? Fails in Marketing 101 or something stupid
Sport
like that.
marketing fails.
This is like freshman year of college stuff, folks. Like it's a little
Maybe
surprising.
freshman year of high school.
Probably
Yeah.
is. What did you find for us, McKenzie?
Gosh. Okay. So there is a player. I believe he is playing over in China, but he is from Argentina. And the club was trying to promote the team and him because he's their star player. So they made an advertisement of him pulling his eyes back to look like a Chinese person. And then the club released that as their advertisement.
They thought this was a good idea. We've got the picture up on screen right now. And I've followed Lavezzi's career a little bit as well, too, because he plays, as you mentioned, for the Argentinian national team and is incredibly talented at the forward position. But, I mean, this is kind of like the joke that you make with your friends, like, oh, look at me, like I'm Asian. Like, this isn't something that you usually want to promote at a high level. And the fact that, as you said, the club themselves was like, yeah, do this.
Right,
Like,
it wasn't like a
fine.
picture he posted with friends on social
Right,
media.
like,
I'm
going
going
to China.
No,
nothing like that. This is done on purpose by the club saying, yes, somebody somewhere was like, I like it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
What? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
That's
it just makes me cringe.
it really, and it's been going viral as well, too.
Right.
People are on Twitter too have just given all kinds of feedback about it too, just saying that it's just not good. People are saying it's just nonsense. One person says he never respects the Chinese, but he does also respect the Chinese because they give him money. It's true. I mean,
Yeah.
someone is like, somebody needs to tell him just to calm down, but he's also not a very shy guy either. So he's probably why he was like, yeah, I'm fine with doing this. Like,
Yeah.
what's the worst that could happen?
I mean, you can see in the picture he's laughing.
Right.
He's like
He's
pretty
like,
happy about
yeah,
it.
Like, haha,
Yeah.
look at me. Like,
Yeah.
strange. Like, you can do dumb crap with your friends, but like,
Cross the line a little bit.
Cross-
It's not really even his fault. I would say it's the organization's.
I was gonna say,
fault.
do you blame the organization
Yeah.
more because they're the ones that wrote off on this, being
Yeah,
like, yeah,
absolutely.
like, completely
because
fine.
there's a line of people
Right.
that have to okay that, and then there's a line of people that are going to publish it,
Exactly.
and then there's a line of people that have to deal with the feedback and criticism that you get on posting something like that. So I just don't see how it slipped through.
Yeah, it's safe to say that whoever thought that was a good idea may not have a job soon.
Yeah.
I would like to assume, at least. If that were one of my employees and I found out about this as a higher up, I'd be like, I'm sorry, we did what? Like,
Yeah.
Like, no. You can't punish the player because he just did what he was told.
And he probably got paid to make the advertisement or
Right.
something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or it was in his contract.
Must be nice to be a pro athlete and
Yeah, right.
not have any repercussions about anything that you do. Anyway, if you are just joining us, we are asking the two questions of the day. What is your favorite Oreo flavor? We're also asking, will you watch the ESPYs because of Peyton Manning hosting this year? Jeff chimed in on Facebook a little while ago. He says, Oreos, double stuff. Those are his favorites. And he said the ESPYs, no, more likely to stay away now because Peyton Manning is hosting. What say you about that, about staying away more so because Mr. Manning is hosting? I don't.
Why?
Why would you stay away? He's a funny guy. I've never had a problem with Peyton Manning in my life.
Do people not like him?
Is he? I don't
think he's disliked by the sports world.
I don't think so. Does he have? I don't think he has a bad personality or like a dry sense
No.
of humor. Like, he's like got the southern flair a little bit, but he's not. I've never found him like not watchable,
Yeah,
personally.
I don't know.
That doesn't
I
make
mean,
sense.
I'm not a
I
fan
don't
of
know.
any of the teams he's ever played on, but I don't dislike him.
Exactly, which is why I find it to be a little strange that certain people are just like, nope, not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Can't stand him. Can't do it. I think people are more likely to not watch like a Seth Meyers or somebody because they're like, I just don't like the way he talks about comedy, or I just don't like the way he hosts the show. Like, Peyton Manning is a respected two-time Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
Like, he's broken a lot of records. Genuinely nice guy, a family man. Like, the commercials that he's made too are not very like crazy
Yeah.
either. It's just like funny commercials that have a little jingle.
Right,
in it. It's
and I'm
like-
expecting him to kind of poke fun of himself
I
and
hope
his
he
career
does.
and stuff because he normally does that kind of
Right.
stuff. So
I really hope he like opens the show with like a nationwide jingle or something.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really want him
calling
to do that.
Papa John's.
Yes, exactly. I hope he finds ways to like incorporate like all of his past commercials somehow like into the ESPYs.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some sort of like whatever legal thing with that.
Right.
But make it happen. Give the people what they
I was
want.
gonna say they'll probably pay him to do it.
They
so.
will. Exactly. So there was one other marketing fail that you wanted to talk
Right,
about.
and I'm curious as if people think this is a fail.
Okay.
So Ben Johnson was a Canadian sprinter.
Okay.
He was a gold medalist for a whole 48 hours because then he tested positive for a banned substance.
Okay.
And so he created, well, I'm not sure if he created it or if he's like the spokesperson for it,
Okay.
but this betting app called Sportsbet, and it's for an Android phone.
Okay.
So he is, the poster for it says, put the roid in Android, as in like making fun of himself for being caught using enhancements.
That's.
Is that funny because it's 20 years later and it's okay?
Do you,
Or
I was gonna
30
say,
years
do you think
later?
it's it's
But,
because that he got away like that it was just something
like,
funny
is it 30
at the
years
time?
later so it's funny, or is it just like, is it just not funny? Like, do people think jokes about steroids are funny?
I don't. I personally
Yeah.
don't. I mean, especially like how the world is nowadays. It's like, how do you?
Right.
Everybody's so faux pas about steroids. We talked about this yesterday with like how the Brewers fans have a hard time trusting their players because Ryan Braun got in trouble for doping,
Yeah.
and everybody thinks now Eric Thames is doping
Right.
as well too. It's like steroids is such a topic that you can't joke around about steroids.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me. And the fact that they're trying to poke fun at this. Where's this company based out of that he's
I
doing
believe
this
it's an
for?
Australian company.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's endorsing.
So that makes a little bit
company-
more sense to me
The
then.
company's app, and their spokesperson spoke out and said, when it comes to performance enhancements, Ben really knows his stuff?
I feel like at that point, Ben obviously gave the green light on
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Because
Well, what is he
obviously,
supposed to do?
obviously
Yeah.
I know money helps, but at the same time, like, you don't do something like this 20 years later if you're not over it and you can't laugh at yourself. Like, I get that's what Ben is probably doing. He's like, all right, I get it. I was an idiot. Let's have a little fun with it. What, you're going to pay me? Okay, yeah, sure, great. Like, let's do it. I don't care. And he's probably at that point in his career where he just doesn't care, and he's just going to do what he wants, and so he gets to poke fun at himself. Like, isn't that what we love as fans sometimes of certain athletes, is when they go back and highlight their own issues?
Right.
Like when Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers like met on the stage of the ESPYs for the first time, and everybody was like, this is awkward. And
Right.
they like tried to make it super awkward, even though they're like completely fine.
Yeah.
Like, people love that stuff because it's like, oh, they're poking fun at like the issue that was there, but it's not like, it makes sense why he was like completely fine with that, but the message that you're sending for a first-time person that doesn't have a background or a history, that seems incredibly offensive to me.
And I feel like you're just setting the app up to fail.
You kind of are.
Because if, say you put LeBron James as your spokesperson, everybody's going to use that app. If you put somebody there who's been in controversy and been in scrutiny and been in all of these issues, it gives a certain reputation and look to the brand you're trying to promote.
Exactly. And I think that's the big thing in this too, is that sometimes you can get away with certain things with certain people. That makes total sense to me. LeBron James isn't going to promote something about doping. If he had been controversially booked or whatever for doping, he's not going to be the first person to play off and laugh about this.
Right.
You know, like if this were even 20, 30 years down the road, like what's going on with Ben, maybe he might do that.
Right.
But I think he has enough self-respect not to do something like that. But this guy, he won one medal one time in one Olympics.
And then lost it 48 hours later.
Right.
And I mean, I guess maybe it'll work because he's
I've
not
never heard
really
of him.
exactly, because he's not really a somebody.
Right.
But if like they picked Lance Armstrong,
Well, then
everybody would be like, screw this app.
Right. Or maybe they might find it funny. You know,
Maybe.
like
I feel like people are bitter towards about him.
They are, of course. I mean, people get uptight about a lot of things, though. That's just the honest truth about that. People.
It is.
Like I know Packer fans that are still mad about Brett Favre. Still. They're
Yeah,
like,
I can
to hell
agree.
with you, Brett Favre, because you broke our hearts and you left us in our hour of need. Really? We're still gonna go about that? Aaron Rodgers done nothing for you? Okay. Good luck with that one. I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me why some people still get so hell-bent on, like, Brett Favre. Like, I had a professor in college that, like, you couldn't say Brett Favre in class, and she would yell at you. She's like, don't you dare say that name in my classroom. I'm like, good Lord. I'm like, are you still bitter? She's like, yes. She's like, how could he do that to us Packer fans? I'm like, what? I'm like, are you kidding me?
Because the Packer organization told him
Right.
to.
I'm like, why are you like, fire Ted Thompson or whatever? Like, don't be mad at Brett Favre. There's only so much you can do in that situation. I mean,
At the end of the day, it's his job.
right.
So.
Exactly. I know. I was very taken aback by that. But you still meet those every once in a while, Packer fans or fans in other teams as well too. They're like, I can't believe. Like, I wonder if there was any Sour Bowl fans when Michael Jordan came back and played for the Wizards, where people were like, "To hell with you, Michael Jordan! Like, you helped us here in Chicago. Now you're unretired and playing for Washington." Like,
Yet everybody loves Michael Jordan.
right. And how many Cleveland fans burned LeBron jerseys as soon as he went to Miami? And as soon as he came back, everyone's like, "LeBron, you're back!"
Yeah.
Like,
We never betrayed you.
no, we love you. We would never. Like,
Right.
Okay. Get out of here. Go put a romp him on and shut your mouth. Oh, my Lord. So you need to answer our two questions of the day that we have been asking. Favorite type of Oreo, and are you going to watch the ESPYs now that Peyton Manning is hosting, McKenzie? What say you?
Okay, so for Oreos, I'm not a big sweets person, so I actually like the slim Oreos.
No coffee, no sweets.
I know.
How in the world are we supposed to be friends?
I mean, I like sugar. I just am not a big sweets person.
Okay.
But you know how they make the Oreos that are slim?
Yes.
So there's like not as much cookie and not as much frosting in there, or
Seems
whatever it
very
makes up with.
counterproductive, but yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, those are the ones I like, but I don't think I would eat any of the weird flavors that they're asking
No, I don't think I
people
could
to
either.
make, like strawberry lemonade Oreo. No.
I like
thank
strawberry
you.
lemonade in general, so that could be something that I might
Think of how
venture out
sweet
towards.
that's gonna taste.
It is. I mean, did you try the unicorn frappuccino from
No,
Starbucks?
oh gosh, no.
Laura, don't do it. It's bad. Tanner and I
Yeah.
did that on halftime a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago. I
Yeah.
still haven't fully
No,
recovered
no,
yet.
No, thank you.
It's I can understand why some people are like, oh, like it's a key lime pie and a cookie. Like, that's so cool. Like, oh, it's whatever, grandma's fresh baked chocolate chip cookies, but it's an Oreo. Like, mind blown. Like, I get why like the novelty is there,
Right.
but when you actually think about it, it's like that. You look at the packaging, you're like, how many freaking grams of sugar in here? It's like,
gross.
no, thank you. I'm very, very bland, very straight. I just like the normal Oreo. Even the double
Yeah.
stuffed is too much for me sometimes. I'm
I
like,
agree.
I just want to have just a straight up Oreo.
Mm-hmm.
My wife will not have it without milk. She has to have it with
Oh,
milk.
and you make them soft.
Yeah. For me, I'm just like, it's like, or like, and everyone's got their way that they eat an Oreo too. How do you eat your Oreo?
Well, if they're the slim ones,
so you've got the slim ones. You're taking like 3 at a time.
Oh
and just
yeah, I
being
just
like,
eat them.
just
But
give
if
it
they're
to
the
me.
normal ones, you definitely got to make them soggy in milk.
See, for me, I always I twist it off, and then I always
Do you
try
scrape it with your teeth?
do.
Oh no.
it's just like you try to get as much as you can, or like I'll even like people will like
Yes.
roll it into like a little ball to be like and then you like eat the cookie after that. Sometimes I'll like just take a normal bite like a normal person, and then people will be like, "What are you doing? You're just eating the cookie."
But then it does crumble everywhere and it makes a mess.
It does.
So.
I just eat the whole cookie. I
Mm-hmm.
guess I have a big mouth. I guess I can get away with that. I don't know. Make sure to answer our questions of the day. Good morning to Chuck and Luke and everybody else chiming in as well too. What's your favorite kind of Oreo? And then are you watching the ESPYs because of Peyton Manning hosting? You and I have basically answered this already.
Yeah.
I think we're both going to watch. I always try to watch the opening monologue of everything just because I always think that's the best part of any awards show, just to see other people get roasted for 10 minutes and everyone's like, oh, that's funny because it's not me. And then you get roasted and you're like, oh, that is me. Awkward.
Right.
Like, it makes it a lot more fun in that regard. So I'm going to watch. I definitely think that Peyton is going to add a flair, add a different side of things. And I hope that he encompasses, my first thought when I heard this is that how many times do you watch the ESPYs and you see the host being like, oh, Brett Favre is here tonight. Woo, like, oh, Peyton Manning's here tonight. Like, I wonder, like, for him, as he's having to recognize these other athletes, like, if he's going to be like, if that's going to be weird, like, kind of a thing, or like, he was just sitting in the audience last year kind of thing. And like, oh, Peyton Manning is here. Like, oh, I'm right here. Like, I wonder if he's going to like poke fun at Eli or something like for most of the night. Like, that would be funny as heck if they did.
Typical him. So
I hope he just
assume.
has fun with it. That's all I want. I mean, you see some of these hosts try way too hard to be funny or to like get that viral bit. I just want Peyton to just go out and have fun. He's not going to have a musical number probably like Justin Timberlake did or whoever. Like, who cares about that stuff?
agree.
Like, just let him have fun. Let him do what Peyton Manning does.
Yeah.
He's a professional. He's going to do a great job. We know that from a fact,
Right.
from everything he's done in his life. So
have you always watched the ESPYs, or you're gonna watch because of him? Because I can't say I've ever watched it.
I've never
really.
watched a full one. I've watched pockets of it from time to
Exactly.
time. So like I said, I will for sure watch the opening just because I'm good for that at least. And then after that, we'll have to kind of see what my night is like. I don't know what my life is ever like on that night.
Yeah.
So I can only say
Maybe he'll
so
just
much.
blow the ratings, like
Maybe.
most people ever viewed the ESPYs before.
I hope so. I feel like
it could happen.
I feel like with somebody like Peyton Manning, you could get on board with the fact that he's going to do a good job.
Yeah.
So I completely.
And he'll be professional, but engaging for the audience
Right.
and all of that stuff.
Exactly. Well, speaking of Peyton Manning, speaking of earlier, you talked about Papa John's as well too, and you talked about pizza. Apparently, pizza delivery guys get to go all over the place when it comes to giving pizza out. There was a story that came out recently. If you haven't heard about this, there was the Amtrak 161 that got stranded in between Washington and New York. It was just a couple of days ago, and they were very tired of waiting for help to come and free the train or whatever process they have to do. The people started ordering pizza. And they actually came and delivered pizza to the stranded train. And so people were freaking out about it. And they were having a great time. And Twitter blew up, of course, about it. And they were asking, like, hey, when are you going to come rescue us? When are you going to come rescue us? And then some guy showed up with a pizza delivery and just walked up and handed it in. And people were happy. It's the strangest thing.
How does a pizza guy get there
before
the responders? Because
Right.
that's like Jimmy John's commercial coming to life.
It really is. Like that is absolutely true. I mean, it's first of all, how do you send that address to somebody? Like I'm
You
stranded
must
on the
have had
tracks.
to get the employee's phone number and send them your exact location.
I'm assuming so. Like probably when they call and be like, yeah, I will like whatever, share my location that you
Yeah.
can do on your iPhone or whatever and send them the actual GPS. Like
Yeah.
I have no idea. They were delayed at least 3 hours. Some are saying on Twitter here as well too. They said that moms were sharing a bottle of champagne for Mother's Day, so at least the spirits were high as well too for
Oh
some.
my gosh.
They said finally the rescue train was on the way. The whole train will be transferring through 2 doorways onto the new train, so the adventure continues.
That's why they had to wait for a whole nother train to come. They weren't just waiting for like first responders.
No, they weren't just hanging out. Like they literally, because there wasn't any like issues. Like nobody got hurt. But they were definitely Dom's Pizza is who it was that saved the day for those poor souls on Amtrak 161. We will always remember the Amtrak 161 and their valiant efforts to order pizza. I think that's really cool. That made me think about it. Like, have you ever had, like, what's the weirdest place you've ever had food delivered, or weirdest place you've ever brought food to eat it?
Oh gosh.
I don't know. Like, I was trying to think about this the other day. Like, I don't
normally order food
No?
or like order pizza because I'm too lazy to pay the delivery fee. Or too cheap, not lazy.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, too
like,
cheap.
you have to.
Yeah. No,
You're too cheap?
I would rather get in my car and go pick it up.
Even if you got like a busy day going on, run around the house, you're like, nope, not gonna do it. Gotta go to Papa John's and pick it up. Can't pay that $3, $4 for a delivery fee.
I mean, I feel like I've probably ordered before, but I can't really remember a time.
It's strange. Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I've had food like on a boat, and I've had food like hiking in the mountains and stuff. But like, I can't think of something like this where I was on a train, stranded, waiting for somebody, and I was like, I'm gonna call a pizza delivery guy and have him show up.
I hope I'm never in that situation.
I hope not either. Like, that would be terrifying. I'm surprised there wasn't more like Facebook Live videos or other things taking place with people being like, help us, we're stranded. But they didn't. So
apparently they enjoyed their time.
That's what it looks like.
Good.
I mean, moms were drinking champagne. People were ordering pizza.
Yeah.
That's like the dream party
Way
right
to make
there.
the most of it.
Right.
I like that.
Good for them. Absolutely.
I like it.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, we do say good morning to Zach and others tuning in. As we mentioned, if you haven't answered our question of the day yet, please do. We're asking, what is your favorite Oreo flavor? Mackenzie's more of the Oreo thinny mini kind of things. Do you ever remember the mini Oreos that you could put like 6 in your hand and be like, oh, they're so good. Side note, did you ever have those little like containers of like the mini Doritos or like the mini cheese balls? They were like, it was a container like this big. I don't know what they were. There was like some weird name for them, but they came like little mini Doritos and like little mini like Cheetos, and you could like travel size, but you could like take a whole bag of chips with you in the small little container.
Yeah, no.
It was phenomenal.
Wow.
I missed that about my childhood.
I think I missed out.
Yeah, you would like pour them into the little cup. Don't make me feel old. You're not that much younger than me. Good Lord. Just because I'm married and have a child. Don't reveal how old you are. That would make me feel old. Anyway, my favorite Oreo is just the standard straight up Oreo. I'm not getting all like minty or any of those other strawberry lemonades or any of that other weird stuff.
We'll have to see what people come up with though now that they're
There's
having
gonna
this
be weird
contest
things.
and stuff.
You know there's going to be weird things and people are just going to be beside themselves, but someone's going to try it.
Well, everyone's going to buy them. They're going to make money because they want to try it and be able to say they tried it. And
people want to make a YouTube video about
it's the unicorn frappuccino in an Oreo form.
Yeah, I hope they do a unicorn frappuccino Oreo. That would like probably blow somebody's head off.
Or just make like a rainbow unicorn one.
Be like, it's a rainbow Oreo. Like, wow. No, thank you. And then finally, we are asking, will you watch the ESPYs because of Peyton Manning hosting this year? We both said yes. We're going to do the best we can as long as it works into our schedule. I'm going to at least watch the opening. We're going to kind of go from there. Award shows as a whole, how do you fall in that category? Do you care about like the Tonys, the Grammys, the Oscars, or do you just kind of take a pass and check your phone the next day?
I watch the Country Music Awards.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Because I'm a country music fan.
Makes sense.
But the other ones I don't watch as much just because they get so long.
They really do.
But I'm going to make an effort to watch the ESPYs now because I'm excited to watch Peyton Manning.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, why would you not? I mean, Peyton Manning, as we mentioned, a professional, a true journeyman, somebody that is very successful as well, too. So I'm excited. An entertainer as well. So, all right, well, we are going to run out of here. We've been having a lot of fun today. We appreciate all of you for stopping by today as well. Thank you to Andrew Shapiro, who stopped by today. Thank you to you, of course, Mackenzie.
Thank you.
You got to run off. You got another final today, correct?
I do.
Where are we headed today?
Crisis Communication, PR class.
Took some weird classes. Bioethics yesterday.
Yes.
Crisis Communication today.
Liberal arts school, double major, double minor. You get
Lord.
everything.
Good Lord. Well, I know that if I ever have a crisis, Mackenzie's the first gal I'm going to call then. So
PR crisis, I'm
PR
on it.
crisis. Be like, Mackenzie, we just released an ad campaign with somebody doing this. Like, how do I avoid the Chinese eyes?
I would have said, don't release that in the first place.
Well, we're too late, McKenzie. I don't know. All right, we got to
Image repair
run.
theory.
Yes, I appreciate it. All right, you guys are the best. Thanks so much for stopping by today. Remember, Facebook, YouTube, and Spreaker.com, all for Brew Sports. You can get it all live every Monday through Friday. We'll be back here again tomorrow at 7 a.m. Central Time for the same awesomeness that we've got rolling. Thanks so much for tuning in. Check out the website, brewsportsnet.com, and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at brewsportsnet. I'm Baxter Colburn. That's McKenzie Laurent. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another edition of Morning Brew. Have a great day, everybody.
3